Welcome back
Oh, hello there.
to the Bookend Gaming.
I'm Eric.
And I am Travis.
Let's continue to have a very thoughtful bath.
Yeah, the water's cold by now.
Also, now of all times, I'm getting into a relationship.
I stopped you before I thought that paragraph was over. I didn't realize there was another line. Stupid game.
We had to know. We had to recap. He's in a relationship.
Yeah.
What the hell am I doing? I don't want to be in a relationship.
Why am I taking a bath?
I guess I shouldn't think like that. What's done is done. But maybe this could be viewed as just another aspect of my new life that I'm working on. Bubblegum flavored bubble bath.
Flavored? You drinking your bath water?
I enjoy being with Lilly, and there's more to life than school and career after all. No, I'm selling it on Amazon for $30 a bottle.
Yeah, giving a bunch of people herpes.
As I busily attempt to rationalize all that's happened, I hear a series of raps on the door. I pick myself up and sit upright, trying to figure out the source.
2 bits.
Lily's just out there, rapping. 3, no more and no less. Light yet assertive in their tapping, and timed regularly enough to tune a metronome. I'd be extremely surprised if it wasn't Lilly, but I'm kind of hoping it's not.
May I come in? I'm naked.
Yeah, it's Lilly. I'm still in the bath. I'll be out in a sec.
I know.
The voice coming from the other side of the door freezes me. After a second's thought, I rest on the side of the bath and let my arms dangle over the side.
Alright, I guess we're doing this
They're
now.
gonna bang in the bathtub! Despite trying my best to play it off, I can't help letting my mind wander. Sure, come in. I already have an erection, just ignore that.
Yeah, it's cold because it's out of the water now.
With that, she opens the door, slowly walking into the room and closing it behind her. She looks oddly calm, countering my racing heart. Hey, Lilly.
Don't look. Do you mind if I take a bath with you?
I don't mind. Go ahead.
I guess it's okay.
An angelic chorus bursts in through the window. With a small nod, she begins to lift her sweater off her shoulders, baring her chest little by little. Get those sensors ready, my friends.
Yeah.
Me.
Yeah.
I could do that for you if you like. Ew, you're all wet.
I refused.
Why? Her face shows she's not overly comfortable with letting me attend to her. I can't say I blame her.
Don't touch me.
She continues undressing, her shirt and skirt falling to the floor and leaving her in her white lace bra and panties. Eventually she stands bare in the center of the room. Compared to last time, it's a lot easier to take in her entire figure. I'm over it.
It's old news now.
It's a wonderful sight.
Hisao? You're thinking perverted thoughts, aren't you?
Well, no. Shit.
Well, why wouldn't I be?
Give me a break. You're undressing in front of me. She furrows her brow in thought.
I guess this would be somewhat more erotic for you than me.
Well, fine. Why?
Because I'm not into you.
That makes sense. She gives a small, light-hearted chuckle, which seems to settle her nerves a little.
If this is too much for you, Hisao, I can come back later.
No, this is fine. I'm just a bit, well, you're really beautiful, you know. My earnest comment draws a vivid red blush from Lilly.
Hisao, of course I don't know. I can't see myself.
I give a small grin. She's cute when she's taken off guard and naked.
In any case, may I come in?
I mean, why would this not be erotic?
Yeah. I mean, she knows what she's joining you in the bath. I mean,
Yeah.
come on.
Sure. I lean forward and take her soft hands in mine, helping her over the side of the bath. She feels out the side of the bathtub and then lowers herself in, my breath catching when she sits and leans her back onto my front, her legs inside mine. I'd expected her to sit at the other end.
Oh, don't mind that. That's just my submarine toy.
I'm just gonna grab these.
Yeah, just let me hold these up for you.
Letting out a long breath to calm myself, I rest my hands on the sides of the bath as I struggle to control my urges. Far from missing the sight of her assets, the feeling of her body against mine is surprisingly relaxing. If Lily's so sensitive to touch, it must be all the more so for her.
You run your baths quite hot, don't you?
A bit.
I do too.
You want me to run some cold... Yeah.
Not baths, showers.
You want me to run some cold water to cool it down a bit?
You gotta burn that sin away.
She gives a small shake of her hand.
No, this is fine.
Okay. Conversation comes to an abrupt end, silence taking over. A very long and very awkward silence.
Maybe this was a bit too...
Don't worry, it's okay.
Please don't leave.
Just stay in here, please. The situation only becomes even more awkward, as if to distract herself, Lily runs her free hand over her legs while holding one of her breasts for modesty. I sit idly watching the wall ahead of me in the rising steam, every now and again stealing a glimpse at her body, because she won't know. The white of her skin glistens as she keeps sliding her hand over her legs, their length and tone all the more obvious. Her eyes look darker blue. You know?
Oh, yeah.
Compared to Akira, you look a lot more foreign.
Why are you thinking of her right now? I took after my
What a
mother.
weird thing to say.
Yeah.
Man, you look a lot more foreign than your sister.
I took after my mother's side genetically. Akira took after my father's more.
Oh, that's your hair.
Yeah.
I thought that was Lily's.
Yeah.
I guess
It could have went either way.
How on earth... They're just connecting themselves like Avatar.
It's hot.
How on earth did a native Scot and a Japanese businessman meet anyways?
It's a little racist. My mother was a journalist. She met my father while
Is that
he
the
was
start of a joke?
at the conference in Iverness.
Ah, I see. Taking after your Scottish side would also explain your height, I suppose. You're too tall.
Is that a thing? I guess Japanese people are shorter. I was thinking, like, are Scottish people, like, super tall?
I
don't know.
I look back down at her as she nods and sigh at the ridiculousness of the situation. This is ridiculous. This really is too much, isn't it?
You're enjoying it, though, aren't you?
I can feel it.
Yeah.
In some ways, yes. I guess things turned out okay in the end. Everything settled down. Hanako took our relationship well, and we'll be going back to school tomorrow.
Indeed. It's a shame to be going back so soon, but we'll still have our memories of this place.
Memories, huh? I suppose so. We'll have to see how everything goes once we get back. I mean, there's a lot of bitches there.
Yeah.
But for now, I'm just glad you like me. I've been winding myself up for weeks about that, so I'm thankful for things turning out like this. She nods, leaning into me as we share the warmth of our bodies and the bath.
Yeah.
I'm not sure whether she'll be okay with it or not, but my temptation rapidly begins to get the better of my self-restraint, and I don't care anymore. Hey, Lily.
Yes?
How was it? Last night, that is.
I have nothing to compare it to.
She pauses in thought before... It's the best sex I've ever had.
Yeah. Also the worst.
Before looking down slightly, a delicate smile finds its way onto her lips as she blushes, her body becoming more relaxed. It's more than enough to answer the question. Even as I give a small nod in response, thoughts of last night run through my mind. Considering the situation, I don't really think anybody would blame me.
I blame you. Hisao, your heart's beating. It wasn't already?
Her voice is cut off as I delicately place a hand on her thigh. While I'd resisted before, the memory of our first time is enough to make me give in. Don't think erotic thoughts, jeez. You have a naked woman on top of you, how dare you? She lets her body lean into mine without a word of protest, an invitation that I'd be hard put to ignore. I place a small kiss on her neck to accept, before slowly moving my hand over her smooth legs.
Hisao, please.
Even as she says it, her mouth curls upward into a smile, her tone caught between embarrassment and awkward giggling. Breast. Eventually, she takes one of my hands in hers, guiding it to her right breast. I greatly appreciate the tentative guidance she's willing to give me.
I greatly appreciate this.
Yeah. I greatly appreciate this breast. All signs of tension in her body give way. I continue to take in the feeling of her soft skin redouble as my other hand slips between her legs. I wonder if the feeling of my hands on her is exaggerated by her lack of sight, since her other senses are so finely tuned. She does seem to be enjoying it to a surprising extent. After all, it gives me a somewhat odd feeling, but a pleasurable one.
She could see she'd hate it.
She can have super orgasms.
Jealous.
It only takes a few minutes before her body starts to squirm ever so slightly. Her efforts to stifle her become visible as she purses her lips. Her light-hearted whispered protestations becomes noticeably more quiet. This makes me realize that all her squirming against my body has made me increasingly excited as well.
You weren't already?
Lilly. I withdraw my hands to give her addled senses time to respond. Nodding, she shakily stands and offers her hands for me to lead her out of the cramped bathtub. Whoa.
Okay.
This escalated quickly.
You're getting the floor wet. It's dangerous.
Now Hanaka's gonna walk in here and slip on it.
Right?
She maneuvers herself out of the bath, as I do, our hands holding each other's. Eventually I sit beside the bathtub, the two of us fussing around a little until we get comfortable, with a small gasp, desperately constrained to avoid being audible outside. Once again. Why don't you try being on top for once?
Yeah, I was about to say, why am I not allowed to be on top?
The way she moves makes it obvious that she must still be on the verge of her
It was the same with... What's-her-face?
Shizune? Well, no,
No, because she started on top, but you didn't switch.
She let you put her on the table.
Yeah, that's true. It's good times.
She slowly starts to move her tongue finding mine as she holds my face upwards. I realize just how much her has excited me.
It's usually how it works. Hisao.
Apparently not, for a lot of people. It makes no sense. Despite her clouded eyes being shut...
Looking at you, DJ Khalid.
Her tightening grip on my shoulders show that she's nearly the end of her endurance. Lucky for me, because so am I. As our breathing becomes more and more ragged, I rapidly feel my limit approaching as well. A series of harsh breaths is the only warning before her final gasp of her entire body tensing and her fingernails digging into my shoulders.
Oh god, think of math problems.
Both of us frozen against each other and next.
My loins!
In a few precious seconds, it's all over. Lily's slumping forward onto me as I try to regain myself.
Her legs have got to be tired.
That was good. She takes a gulp of air before replying, steadying herself as she nods. It was alright. She bows her head down to give me a small kiss, my hand reaching up to hold strands of her disheveled hair as we once again sit in blissful silence. Well then.
Wow.
We did it beside the
two
bathtub.
real quick.
Yeah. It's like Emmy.
That's true.
Hers were quick. We're having fun. We're having fun out here in the woods. Back on the train. Let's have train sex.
Yeah! What's that called? It's not the Mile High Club.
The Clickety-Clack Club.
Railers Club.
After a chaotic dash to the station and finding our seats in the otherwise deserted carriage, we promptly crashed. Looking at the time, close to midnight, it's a little surprised that few take this particular train. You're on the night train. Hanako is fast asleep on Lily's shoulder, and I can only barely muster the energy to stay awake. The excitement we had a while ago probably didn't help. I'm horny again already. Probably be pretty depressed about going back to school if my brain was actually working. As it is, though, the sight of the nighttime scenery scrolling by is surprisingly beautiful. Look, there's some scenery.
Yeah.
Oh!
Whoa!
What was that?
Something on the wing.
A Dementor. My loud yawn is nearly wholly drowned out by the clacking of the train tracks and the old carriage is rattling. So tired.
I say to no one. Oh, no, she is awake. And whose fault is that?
Oh, God! I didn't know you were awake!
And whose fault is that, Hisao? Yours?
She really does toe the line between insulting and amusing sometimes, though I manage to wring out a weary smile. I look back out the window, my reflection just visible on the clear pane. Truth be told, she's perfectly correct. If it weren't for that little interlude a few hours ago, both of us would have a lot more energy. God. On top of that, we both had to take another bath, very nearly making us late for the train's departure. Yeah, it was mine. Still getting into the bath with a guy is a dangerous thing to do. Don't do it again.
Evidently.
Sorry, I guess I kind of took advantage of the situation.
Was
back
anything else expected to... I mean, come on.
Yeah, I don't...
High school students that had just started having sex.
Right. You're gonna bathe together, but be completely wholesome.
Yeah, no.
and she sits in your lap.
Yeah, in no situation does that not end in sex. Well, I didn't exactly hate it. Oh, thank God.
Oh. As she trails off, I look back to her, my eyes narrow as if her slightly reddened cheeks and small grin, her mind obviously elsewhere. Not sure if horny or...
Yeah, what you thinking about?